The birth and sacrifice of Jesus, a pivotal turning point in history. He left behind 8 astonishing relics and artifacts that have endured for millennia. These sacred objects have sparked countless mysteries and fierce debates. People have searched for them relentlessly, and many have even shed blood in the pursuit. Today, we will uncover the secrets behind these enigmatic relics. If you stay with me until the end, you will discover that these items are far more than mere historical witnesses. They hold mysteries that transcend our understanding. 1. The Crown of Thorns, history's most brutal crown. This crown was woven from reeds and thorny branches. It measures approximately 21 centimeters in diameter. Modern scientific examination shows that its thorns are ancient and have largely weathered away, leaving only a darkened brownish reed base. According to records from Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, the surface shows significant wear consistent with centuries of careful preservation. Today, it is housed in an ornate golden reliquary encrusted with gems and protected by crystal panels.
The Bible recounts that Roman soldiers, mocking Jesus as the King of the Jews, twisted thorns into a crown and placed it on his head. The sharp spikes pierced his skin, and blood streamed down his forehead. Legend suggests this crown may have been brought from Jerusalem to Europe in the early Middle Ages. In the 13th century, French King Louis IX learned that the Latin emperor was selling sacred relics due to financial difficulties. He purchased the Crown of Thorns and brought it back to France. To honor it, he commissioned the construction of the world-famous Sainte-Chapelle, Holy Chapel. The crown is now preserved in the treasury of Notre Dame Cathedral. During the devastating fire of 2019 that shocked the world, brave firefighters risked their lives to rescue this precious relic from the flames. It is only displayed to the public on special religious occasions.
This is a piece of fine linen cloth, roughly 40 centimeters square. Its color has faded to a yellowish-brown hue. On its surface, one can faintly discern the outline of a human face. Due to its great age, the image becomes clearly visible only under specific angles and lighting conditions. The edges of the fabric are frayed and threadbare. It is carefully kept in an elegant reliquary. According to Christian tradition, as Jesus carried the cross toward Golgotha, the place of the skull where he was crucified, a woman named Veronica pushed through the crowd, ignoring the Roman soldiers. She used a linen cloth to gently wipe the blood and sweat from Jesus' face. In that instant, according to accounts in the 6th century Acts of Pilate, Jesus' countenance was miraculously imprinted on the cloth. This story first appeared in 6th century documents and gradually spread. The veil, said to bear the true image of Christ, was taken to Rome and became a revealed relic for medieval pilgrims. Believers hold that it preserves the authentic appearance of Christ during his earthly life. It is currently kept in the relic chamber of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome and is rarely displayed. Its most recent public exhibition was in the year 2000, drawing thousands of faithful pilgrims.
The story of Veronica continues to remind us that even in the darkest moments, a single act of compassion can become eternal. The Holy Nails. These are the legendary nails used to crucify Jesus. The surviving holy nails measure between 15 and 20 centimeters in length. Their surfaces are covered in thick rust and appear dark black. They are enshrined in golden or silver reliquaries adorned with jewels and intricate carvings. According to tradition, in the 4th century, St. Helena discovered these nails during her pilgrimage to Jerusalem. Historical texts such as the Pilgrimage to Jerusalem and other ancient records state that she found the nails used in the crucifixion and divided them into 3. One was embedded in the helmet of her son, Emperor Constantine the Great, for divine protection. The second was fashioned into an imperial saddle to safeguard the emperor in battle. The third was given to the church for veneration. Since the Middle Ages, these nails have been regarded as powerful symbols of Jesus' suffering and redemption. They are venerated in churches across Europe. One of them is still preserved in Milan Cathedral, Italy. It hangs in a special container called the Crown of the Holy Nail beneath the dome. Every year during Holy Week before Easter, a solemn ceremony is held and the nail is lowered for 3 days of public veneration. In the 15th century, while working for the Sforza family in Milan, Leonardo da Vinci found the repeated lowering process cumbersome and invented a special hoist mechanism for it, an impressive display of his genius. 4. The Holy Blood Relic. This relic is kept in a slender glass vial secured with 2 golden rings and housed in an ornate golden casket. The liquid inside appears deep red and rests quietly at the bottom.
Legend says that on the evening of the crucifixion in the 1st century, when a soldier pierced Jesus' side with a spear, blood and water flowed out. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple, used a container to collect some of this blood. This event marks the earliest origin of the Holy Blood relics. By the 12th century, the most famous account emerged in Bruges, Belgium. Count Thierry of Flanders, a noble who had participated in the Second Crusade, reportedly brought back a vial believed to contain Jesus' blood from Jerusalem. He presented it to his hometown and had the Basilica of the Holy Blood built to house it. The vial is still preserved in a glass reliquary in the church in Bruges. Since the 13th century, a grand procession of the Holy Blood has been held every May, drawing tens of thousands of pilgrims eager to witness this sacred relic. 5. Fragments of the true cross.
These fragments are only a few centimeters long, dark brown in color, and have a rough texture. They are set into cross-shaped golden or silver reliquaries, some decorated with gems and fine engravings. In 326 AD, the elderly Saint Helena journeyed to the Holy Land, convinced she could find the cross on which Jesus was crucified. In Jerusalem, she ordered excavations around the site. Workers unearthed 3 crosses. To identify the true one, according to the 5th century historian Socrates in his Ecclesiastical History, St. Helena had a dying man touch each cross. When he touched the 3rd, he was miraculously healed. She believed this was the authentic cross of Christ. She took most of the wood back to Rome, leaving some in Jerusalem for veneration. During the Middle Ages, fragments of the true cross spread throughout Europe and became central to the cult of relics. Today, pieces are preserved in places such as the Basilica of the Holy Cross in Jerusalem in Rome, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, and Toledo Cathedral in Spain. 6. The Seamless Robe of Jesus. This ancient robe, woven from linen, is preserved in several church traditions. The most famous is kept in Trier Cathedral in Germany. After nearly 2,000 years, its color has faded to a muted brownish yellow. It measures about 1.5 meters long and 0.8 meters wide. Most remarkably, the entire garment is made from a single piece of fabric with no seams or stitching, an extremely rare technique at the time. Today, some areas of the robe are so thin they are almost transparent. To prevent further damage, it is kept under strict protective conditions. According to the Gospel of John, this was the inner garment Jesus wore at the crucifixion. Because it was seamless and valuable, the Roman soldiers did not want to tear it and instead cast lots to decide who would receive it. Christian tradition holds that the robe may have been woven by the Virgin Mary herself, symbolizing Jesus' unique identity, possessing both divine and human natures. It is said that in the 4th century, St. Helena brought this robe back to Constantinople during her pilgrimage. From there, it followed a long and mysterious path through history. The version preserved in Trier Cathedral is one of the most important relics that reached Europe. 7. The Holy Grail. During the Last Supper, Jesus raised a cup and declared it the new covenant in his blood. This seemingly ordinary cup later became known as the Holy Grail. Among the many vessels claimed to be the Holy Grail, the most prominent is a chalice made of red agate, preserved in Valencia Cathedral in Spain. It stands about 17 centimeters tall, with a smooth body, a gold and silver base, and 2 handles. It is exquisitely decorated and displayed in a glass reliquary on special feast days. Tradition says Joseph of Arimathea used this cup to collect Jesus' blood at the crucifixion. In the Middle Ages, the Grail legend merged with popular knightly romances, most famously the tales of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, whose greatest quest was to find the Holy Grail.
Although science cannot confirm whether this is the exact cup Jesus used, its material and craftsmanship are consistent with first-century techniques. For believers, it serves as a powerful bridge connecting faith, history, and the divine.
8. The Shroud of Turin. This is a large piece of pale yellow linen cloth measuring about 4.4 meters long and 1.1 meters wide. It bears the faint front and back image of a crucified man, complete with bloodstains and wounds that perfectly match the injuries described in the gospel accounts of Jesus' crucifixion. I covered this remarkable artifact in detail in a previous video. If you're interested, feel free to check it out. These sacred relics are cherished with deep devotion by many, while others remain difficult to authenticate. Some defy scientific explanation. Yet they all carry profound faith and represent humanity's eternal quest for the divine. The true miracle may not lie in whether they are historically real, but in how they have inspired 2,000 years of continuous reflection, searching, and spiritual longing. That concludes today's exploration. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content and haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. See you in the next one. Goodbye.